Welcome to my video. So these are my results on the TCF exam. I took it 4 months after starting to learn French. I started from zero and yeah, I did it in 4 months. I already made this video but in Spanish because I used to have another channel but it was hacked. So I will do it right now in English and I will share the Spanish version in some days. So if you're here for the Spanish version, subscribe because you will have it. So yeah, I did it in 4 months. I had the C1 level. I only needed B2, but I had C1 and I did it in 4 months because I needed to have that paper so I could come to Paris to study, and right now I live in Paris and I study here in the university. I used to study 8 hours per day and everything, my calendar, like my planning is super but it's because I needed to do it in that time. But you can do it in more time. Like if you have 8 months or more time, you can only use my planning as a guide, and you see how much time you dedicate to it. But yeah, I used to study a lot. And like if you want to learn French in 4 months, yeah, you have to be obsessed with it, like obsessed. There's no other option. So yeah, in this video I will show you my plan, some indications, what I did on each month, and I will put it also in the description. Okay, I will put a document with the planning and another document with the resources I used and that I think could be useful for you. If you're interested in the exam, I took the TCF, Test de Connaissance du Français. I asked my university if I could do only the mandatory parts of the exam, which were use of French, reading and listening, and they said it was okay for them, so I only did that. I didn't do the speaking part and the writing part because it was too ambitious. I only had 4 months and I wanted to be sure that I could do it. And I know that like to produce the language you need more practice. So with what I had, that's what I could do and what I'm gonna teach you in this video. When I decided to start, I looked on the internet how many hours do you need to study so you get a B2 level in French, and it said 600 hours. So if I had 4 months, I understood that I had to study 150 hours per month. So that's what I did. That was at least 5 hours per day. And most of the days I studied more than 5 hours, like 8 hours or more, like the whole day. In fact, since I woke up, I would be listening to a podcast until I go to sleep. Active studying and passive studying. And yeah, some other days I didn't study that much, but like it was compensated. I used to consume like crazy the French language because I was decided, and with decision comes discipline, which is one of the most important things here in this equation. Okay, without discipline, you won't do it, like in 4 months, impossible. Discipline first. And let's go with the plan. Basic level. You have to become familiar with the language, like consume French, learn how it sounds, how it looks like, how it feels like, what's like the accent of the people, what everything. Okay, like just familiarize yourself with the language. You will start acquiring the language. In this level you have to learn as much vocabulary as possible. That's the most important in this first month. Okay, like you can start talking as, I don't know, as a 3-year-old. It doesn't matter as long as you learn vocabulary. You have to start listening to podcasts, even if you understand 10% or 30% of what they say. I think that if you understand 30% of what they say, like the third part, you have an idea of what they're talking about, then you are in the right level. Because like if you're here, you have to start with podcasts that are here so they can teach you. Get it? Like when you're starting, like when you know zero French, you should start already with podcasts on A2, B1 level. Okay, and when you start like understanding those podcasts, you can jump to B2 level, or like this. We have to do things fast if we have 4 months, okay? Yeah, you can listen to one podcast many times, and every time you listen to it, you will understand more words, you will understand the context, you will get like the whole idea, and it will get better every time. You will improve. This is also why it's very important that you choose podcasts that interest you, like about topics that you like, because you will get bored if you listen just anything. Try to find a podcast that will talk about something you're interested about and listen to it many times. The ones I liked are these ones in that level. And yeah, but it's because I'm really interested in language learning, traveling, learning brain. You have to start to conjugate verbs in the present, the 3 groups of verbs, and also irrégulier, of course. And you can learn the conjugations in passé composé and futur proche. That's like easy. Futur proche et passé récent. But also passé composé is very useful and easy, I think. You can learn it in this level. But anyways, I did my plan, the organization, with every subject you should learn per day, every week. So yeah, and it will be also in the document in the description, so go look at that if you want to have the plan. Everything I put there, it's very important that you know by heart when you are like when you pass from basic to intermediate level. You can start doing courses in the page FunMock. These courses are very good because like they are super complete. Like they have everything you need to learn French. They work every skill you need to work when you learn a language, so go do them. They have like A1, A2, B1, but really the B1 level, I think it's more of a B2 if you work well on the page. Every time you have some free time, you should go and work a little on the easiest of the courses, and you will see it's still a little bit challenging. So yeah, I really recommend that course, that online course, and it's free, of course. I will leave you another resource called Pimsleur, in which you can practice your conversation, but it's not like you will learn how to talk in French just with that, but you will like familiarize yourself with everything you're learning and how to use it in a in context. It's a link, I will leave it on resources, so you can download it and you will see it there. Okay, if you're interested in speaking, you can look for laboratory exercises on YouTube, so they can like pronounce the words, basic words. Like you have to put laboratory French A1, okay, and they are going to pronounce the words and you have to repeat them. Like that you will understand like the phonetics, the accent, pronunciation of the words, how are the sounds, because in French they have so many different sounds like that we don't have in English or Spanish. So yeah, that could be interesting. And also when you're learning a new language, your mouth have to like get used to the sounds of it. So the more you practice, the more it will be natural for you. A YouTube channel that I like and that I recommend to watch in this level is Easy French. Those are like interviews on the street, and you see like words that are commonly used in context, and I find it very funny and interesting and real. And also a strategy that I like is to play The Sims, because that's something I did. The Sims have a lot of vocabulary, and well, you learn about the daily life there, or in another game that it's like similar to The Sims, you know, in which you have like professions, actions, hobbies, etc. Now we go to 1 month of intermediate. Okay, so in this month I studied 5 hours per day or more, like minimum 5 hours. And not taking into account the podcasts in the mornings and in the evenings when I will take my dogs for a walk. You have to be super obsessed, as I said. FunMock. You should definitely be doing courses at FunMock at this point. Search for one in the level B1. Learn the grammar. The subjects are here. I made a list. I also put it in the PDF in the description. And I put how I would organize my week of studying. After you study one subject, one topic, grammar, you go to the internet, to Google, and you search for exercises so you can test what you just learned. If you learned it, good. Okay, like you put, for example, I don't know, subjonctif, exercice, V1, B2. Okay. And yeah, you test yourself. In this moment, maybe you want to practice. I don't recommend to practice on tandem. Even if it's like super popular to practice languages with natives, I feel like they don't take it seriously and they only want to flirt. So for that, you go to Hinge. You go to Hinge directly. That's a dating app if you are single. If you're single. And you put location, France, Paris, I don't know. And you put that you are there only to learn French and that you're not really located there in Paris. So at least like there will be romantic interest and someone like the love of your life can appear and say, okay, I'm going to teach you, and who knows later. But yeah, I don't like tandem. You need to start reading something not for kids and not native. So I found that L'étranger, it's a book for adults from Albert Camus, but it's easy. It has easy vocabulary. It's not so like, it doesn't have complex sentences, super long. It's good for this level. So maybe you should like go there and start reading 10 pages per day. And finishing this month, you will have to start listening to podcasts, movies, series, everything. Now it's for natives. Now we're not intermediate, we are like going to advanced, even if we are intermediate, but we will study the advanced level. Okay, so now yeah, we are natives, we only consume natives resources. Okay, like for the podcasts, if you're interested in psychology, you go to Spotify and look for a psychology podcast for French speakers. Yeah, and if you want subtitles, of course you can put subtitles in French. These last 2 months are the most fun because you have to like consume a lot, and now you have an idea of everything you are hearing or reading. Like you already know the language, now you have to practice it. And at this point I was already dreaming in French. My thoughts were in French, everything was in French in my life. I would consume French the 24 hours of the day. Keep what you're doing in the first 2 months, like keep reviewing the grammar, the vocabulary lists, but now make it more difficult. Okay, I don't know if you understand what I mean, but like I already explained it a little with the podcast thing. Maybe you can start reading the news. You can watch series like Planqueur, L'Agence, movies like La Vie d'Adèle, Ratatouille. In fact, those are the ones that I always recommend because they are my favorites, especially Planqueur. If you are going to take the exam, the TCF, the 4th month, like when you finish your 3rd month, the 4th is going to be the most important for you, okay? Because you know we have this very beautiful page with practice tests of the TCF, and you are gonna wanna do one every day. Okay, and you're gonna keep the progress. Like take a photo on every result you have. I know that you will improve your results every day, so take photos every day of that. Take photos of your mistakes, correct them, fix them, so the next time you won't do the same mistakes. Every day you will have a different mock exam. so you can practice all of them, and the day the exam, like the real exam, arrives, you will be super prepared, because the exam is exactly the same. It's the same you will have there in the practice tests. So you have that tool, use it. I did it, and the day before my exam I only had one mistake, so I went to my exam super confident, and it was literally the same. Some extra tips to finish. First, the day before my exam, I did my, like, the last practice and nothing else. Maybe I listened to a podcast and that's it. I didn't study more because I wanted to go with a clear mind that day. Music can be your best weapon learning French, because at first you develop your listening, you try to understand the lyrics, what they're saying. When you learn the songs with your memory, you understand the language, like how it is built, the grammar, like it sticks in your in your mind. Also, you learn like the most used words in French, so that's very useful already. But yeah, I find that the more songs you know, by heart, like the lyrics and everything, the more you can speak. Now you can steal parts from the song, so you reply. I don't know if you get it, but I'm trying. When you start learning, like in the beginning, you can make a TCF practice test, so you can see your level. You can take it once in a while in the whole process, once in a month, so you can see your improvement. For TV series, I think the best, when you're beginning in the first month, you can watch series for kids, because the language is simpler in those kind of series, like cartoons. Then when you get to intermediate, you can watch dubbed series or movies. And in the advanced level, third and fourth month, you should watch native French movies or series, like completely, and subs in French, Then if you want to practice your writing, you should write your own texts, take a photo, send it to ChatGPT so it can correct you. Maybe you can ask, how can I formulate this in a more natural way, or how can I improve my French? Like use the AI. And for the speaking, I found an app called Bingo AI. It's interesting. Like it replies to you. You can make a conversation in French. Interesting. To learn, like to get to this point of C1 in 4 months, you have to be obsessed, but also stay healthy, like see your family, see your friends, go out a little to breathe, and well, I believe in you. If you have a question or something to say, put it in the comments. Don't rage bait me, because okay. And nothing else. Thank you for arriving here, and subscribe please, and put a like. It could help me a lot. So yeah, bye.